What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the good, the bad, and the awesome. If this is your first time watching this show, this is basically my best and worst of show. I talk about the month previous, everything that I liked, didn't like, and the things that really rose above the pack as far as movies, music, sometimes some video games, even news, just whatever happened in the past month that I feel like I need to talk about. So let's get started with the good, the bad, and the awesome for February 2017. Starting right away with the good is some music news. Seether released their newest single called Let You Down, and the music video for this song I actually like even better than the song. The song's very good. It's classic Seether. It's got a lot of heavy elements to it. It's got some melodic elements to it. If you're a Seether fan, I can't see you being disappointed by the song, but the music video of this song is just wicked. There's a lot of crazy imagery. I love the black and white. The guys all look awesome. They look menacing as hell. So I love the video for this song, and I cannot wait for the rest of this album. The album is called Poison the Parish, and it's supposed to be coming out on May 12th. And a fun little fact, this Friday, whenever their world tour, their US tour starts to go on sale, if you buy a ticket to one of the concerts, you actually get a physical copy of the CD for free. So if you're a Seether fan, definitely check that out. Moving into movies, Get Out was released. This is the directorial debut of Jordan Peele, one half of Key and Peele, and this movie really surprised the hell out of me. I was really anticipating that. Ever since I saw that trailer, I knew I was going to be in for something really special, and I was. Wasn't absolutely perfect. There's still a really big glaring plot hole in that movie that kind of racked my brain, and I've yet to see anybody that I've talked with online really either defend it or explain it to me, so it's definitely there, but really enjoyable psychological thriller, a lot of great messages in there. Some of it's subtext, some of it's right in your face, but it's just a really ballsy movie, and what a directorial debut for Jordan Peele. I cannot wait to see what this guy does next, so if you have not seen Get Out, check out my review after you go and check out the movie in theaters. As far as home release, I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in depth in my Off the Shelves video, which will be coming out soon. Land 2 came out on Blu-ray in February. I know it came out on the Sci-Fi Channel months ago, but nobody saw it when it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, because let's be honest, who watches the Sci-Fi Channel? But if you are not familiar with Land, this is probably the best vampire franchise that has come out in years, especially since Twilight came out and just absolutely ruined the genre. Land was just an awesome movie. It's on Netflix if you want to go check it out. It's like a post-apocalyptic vampire movie. Very cool, very dark, very rated R. And Land 2, even though it was a TV-released Sci-Fi Channel movie, which gave me zero hope, it's just as good as the first one. It's a badass sequel. It's got a lot more emotional, dramatic moments to it, but just it carries the characters and the story from the first one so well and expands it, and I cannot wait to see if they do a third one. I think they said it was planned as a trilogy. It's just going to depend on the money, obviously, just like everything else. So if you're a fan of Land, go get Land 2 because it's absolutely worth your time and money. If you have not seen Land, shut this video down, go watch it on Netflix, and then come back and watch the rest of it. As far as the news, now last month, one of my highlights in my bad section was Ben Affleck dropping out as the director of The Batman. Now, this is on the lower end of my good news, but I'm a little bit excited that at least that the DCEU is eyeing some really good talent for their directors. We got Matt Reeves, who's at the moment confirmed to be the new director for The Batman, even though there was some heated debates going on behind the scenes apparently. I love Matt Reeves' work. I love the Planet of the Apes franchise. I'm one of the few Cloverfield fans out there. And his remake of Let the Right One In, Let Me In, is awesome. Again, another great vampire movie. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do with this franchise if he does actually make it to the point where he's behind the camera. And his vision is what we see when the movie hits the theaters. So I'm excited about that. And even though I don't think there's a chance in hell within a couple of weeks that we're actually going to see this confirmed, Mel Gibson's supposedly in talks to do Suicide Squad 2. So pretty cool. Gives me a little bit of hope. The minimum amount that the DCEU is turning themselves around. So pretty cool stuff. There were some rough things going on in February too, unfortunately. I had one last shitty ass horror movie that I had to sit through in Rings. And if you watch my review, I was so physically and mentally exhausted from watching bad horror movies from January and then at the beginning of February that I could barely even function in the review. I said what was horrible about it. I couldn't find anything good about it really, and it was a terrible movie. I wasn't a gigantic fan of the franchise in the first place, so I guess I went in with a little bit of a bias, but the movie's just garbage. It just borrows from a lot of way better horror movies. It just does not expand the lore of Samara at all. They start to go in a cool direction with this professor and having this little bit of a cult that just kind of creates these rings where they watch the video and then somebody else comes and watches it, and just they stray away from that storyline into just a typical bullshit, low budget, sorry ass horror movie. I hated it. So definitely don't go see Rings if it even is still in theaters, and if it comes out on video, just walk past it and get something else. But the bombshell of February, the 59th Annual Grammy Awards. What the fuck was that? Now, people, as a rock and metal fan, I've pretty much come to terms that we're always going to be the underdogs. It's just like being a horror fan. You're always going to be the underdogs. You're never going to get the respect that you're due in like the award seasons. Rock and metal is never going to be the forefront in the Grammy Awards. They're never going to get recognized the way they should. But this year was just laughable how disrespectful they were. First of all, you got Megadeth, who I'm very glad that they won the Grammy because their album Dystopia was great. I'm not the biggest Megadeth fan in the world, but I respect those guys a lot. I respect Dave Mustaine, and that's a really good metal album, so they absolutely deserve to win that. But then, as Megadeth is going up to the stage to accept their Grammy Award for Best Metal Album, the band starts playing Master of Puppets by Metallica. And if you're not a metal fan, you may not be familiar with this, but up until recently, Metallica and Megadeth were like the biggest rivals in metal. Dave Mustaine was the original guitarist for Metallica. They kicked him out before they even got their first record deal, and he's been bitter and sour about it ever since, and it's been like this ongoing feud up until recently when they seem to have kind of mended that and just gotten over it because, you know, Megadeth's had a very successful career on their own and no reason to be mad about it anymore, but very disrespectful. They win, and you're playing their rival band's biggest song while they're going up to accept their award. Just absolutely incompetent. I have problems with the fact that Metallica's album was under Best Rock and not Best Metal. That tells you right there you don't know what the fuck rock and metal is by definition. That's a whole other conversation. But speaking of Metallica, we got some news before the Grammy was coming, or the Grammy Awards aired, that Metallica is in fact going to play one of their new songs off their album Hardwired to Self-Destruct live at the Grammys. So as a metal fan, you're like, cool, we get some fucking recognition for once. We're going to get to see Metallica. They're going to be in the forefront. Everybody's going to see it. That's going to be awesome. Then shortly after that, you hear that, oh, and they're going to be joined by Lady Gaga. Now look, I don't have a problem with Lady Gaga as a person or as an artist. She's not my type of music to listen to. She seems like she's a really good singer, really good performer. Obviously people like her. And even though I don't think she deserved the Emmy that she got, apparently she's a pretty capable actress in the little bit of acting that she's done on American Horror Story. So she's fine. Everybody was defending this because she's supposedly a rock or a metal fan that, you know, she loves metal, she loves rock, it's okay, she's going to be really good. Well, she's a pop star, so how deep does that love honestly run? But the fact that we can't even get one single 4 to 5 minutes of solitary where you just get a nice rock or metal performance, some kind of recognition, some kind of a spotlight at the Grammys. No, you have to throw pop music in there too. And I walked into it with an open mind, and I'll admit, she looked really good. She looked like she was enthusiastic, she was having fun, so that's cool. But it sounded like shit. It sounded like shit. That song does not merit a harmony whatsoever. It does not merit a duet whatsoever. So it sounded like garbage. But before the song even started, we had one of the most disrespectful bullshit representations that the Grammys have ever put on. First of all, you have, I forget her freaking name, the girl from Rocky Horror Picture Show and Orange is the New Black comes out, and she's introducing Metallica and Lady Gaga. And she doesn't even mention Metallica's name. She's introducing them like they're the background band for Lady Gaga. The Grammy winner, Lady Gaga! And then everybody comes out. That right there, if I was James, I wouldn't have played one fucking note. If I was Lars, I wouldn't have hit one cymbal. But maybe they didn't even hear it. They just start playing. And then James's microphone doesn't work. Lady Gaga's microphone worked, but James's microphone doesn't work. So he has to play half the song borrowing her microphone back and forth while playing guitar. Just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. So disrespectful. I don't think anybody will argue, regardless of what your thoughts on Metallica as a band are, they're the most famous band ever. I don't think anybody could really argue that. Maybe Led Zeppelin, maybe Ozzy. Yeah, they're in that conversation, but Metallica, I'm sorry, they're probably the most famous band that's ever lived. And you treat them like they're a fucking rock little background band that you just took off the street to do some background music for Lady Gaga. I mean, it's just, as a metal fan and as a rock fan, it really pissed me off. I didn't go on too much of a tirade. I didn't want to make like a solo video for that, and I didn't mean to rant on it this long, but just as a rock and metal fan, it just really aggravates me that the one time of the year, just like the Oscars never recognize horror movies, the Grammys never really recognize rock and metal. So, rant over, but that was just a ridiculous display by the 59th Grammys. And now the awesome, and we had some awesome shit in February. Holy crap. We had the Lego Batman movie, which I was anticipating, and I was looking forward to taking my kids to see it, but I did not anticipate how much I was going to enjoy that movie. It was just genius on so many levels. If you're a Batman fan, especially if you're really deep into Batman lore and you know about his history and his villains, there is so much to enjoy in this movie. I think I could watch this movie 10 times and still not see all the Easter eggs. Just absolutely brilliant. Whoever wrote and, kind of headed that project really loves and knows Batman down to his core, and especially with all the shit that we've been getting out of DCEU, with all the bad news and all just the dread that we've been getting out of the DCEU, it was a nice breath of fresh air to have some good DC property movie out there. The Lego Batman movie was amazing. If you are a Batman fan, or if you're a fan of the Lego movie, definitely check that out. Then we had John Wick Chapter 2 the same weekend. And I love John Wick, but I did not expect to love John Wick Chapter 2 more than the first movie, and I did. That movie just blew me away. The action scenes were, even though John Wick's action scenes were some of the most amazing action scenes I've seen, somehow the sequel topped them. It really expanded on the lore of the Hotel, the Continental, and how this world of assassins works. All the characters were great. I loved that movie. I can't wait to own it, and it was one of the best action sequels I've seen in years, so definitely check that out. Moving on from that, some really, really cool news for horror fans is you had the Halloween sequel / reboot that they've been talking about doing, that John Carpenter is supposedly going to executive produce, announced their writer and their director. Danny McBride and Seth Gordon Green are going to co-write this movie, and Seth Gordon Green is going to direct it. Now, they're the guys who are behind movies like Your Highness and Pineapple Express, so you right away when you first hear that news, it's kind of like a knee-jerk reaction, like, whoa, what the hell are they doing? But whenever you start listening to it and you start reading more into it and find out that Danny McBride and Seth Gordon Green are hardcore horror fans and hardcore Halloween fans, and they are great writers and a good director. I mean, Your Highness, maybe not, but the movie Joe, Seth Gordon Green did, that was a great movie. Danny McBride is awesome. Anything that he's in, he's great. So just the fact that you have two very talented people who have a deep-rooted fandom of this franchise is taking on, alongside John Carpenter, a new Halloween movie, just so exciting. So that's awesome news. I can't wait to see what comes out of that. And the final piece of news that I want to bring to the awesome is that A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 Dream Warriors turned 30 years old this week. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love everything about Dream Warriors. I grew up with that movie, watching it, just wearing that VHS tape out. I love the Dokken song, Dream Warriors. Just everything about that movie is so great, and it was really cool, seeing online and the film fan community and some of the groups that I'm a part of on Facebook, just talking about and celebrating A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors was just really cool. People talking about the first time they saw it, their favorite scenes, their favorite one-liners. Welcome to prime time, bitch. I love it. So just kind of, as a fan community, just kind of relishing in how great that movie was for the past couple of days has been really fun for me. And if you guys are watching this and you're not aware, I'm actually doing a series reviews where I'm talking about all the Nightmare on Elm Street reviews, Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So I'm currently editing the first one for the original 1984 movie. I'm going to go all the way through to the remake, and I'm going to end on a ranking video. So just a really cool time. I almost wish I timed it better and released my Dream Warriors review the day that it turned 30, but we can't all be perfect. So if you're a Freddy fan and a Nightmare fan, please look forward to that. I think this weekend I'll probably have that first video out. So that's it for the good, the bad, and the awesome for February 2017, people. Put all your thoughts on the news stories, the music, the movies, everything that I've talked about. Do you agree with where I placed them in the list? Do you like all the movies that I've talked about? Have you seen them all? Are you looking forward to see this new album? And what the hell happened with the 59th Grammys? Put all of that down below in the comment section and we'll talk about it. Please like and share this video and hit that subscribe button. That way you get to come back and see me next time. But if that's not soon enough to check out some more of my videos, you can check out a few more by clicking right over here.